anyone knows what that is, put it in the comments below because you guys are old.
It's terrible.
I am here with the awesome Mike Ogrinz. He had spent a ton of time cutting lots of stuff out of this piece of wood. Doesn't look like much yet, but wait.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
You will see an incredible Techie Youth logo out of that. So Mike, show us how you did it.
Okay, so we started with a machine called the Maslow. It's a CNC machine, and right now I have the tension taken off it. It's hanging from some straps here. But the basic principle is this. This is kind of what's called, in some circles, you might see it called like a drawbot, where there are two motors. Let me just get it back on its little pulleys here. There we go. So you have, like in a traditional drawbot, you would have maybe something like a whiteboard or a piece of paper, and you would have two motors in each corner, and maybe a little marker or a pen here. And by basically the motors pulling or releasing tension on the string, the marker in the middle will move around. So someone on Kickstarter had the great idea that what if instead of strings, we use something a little bit heavier like chains, and what if instead of a pen, we put a router and also a little stepper motor on the router so that we could raise and lower the bit. Then what you could do is basically drive this thing, the sled as it's called, around the board and lower the router bit and raise it and cut out interesting shapes. A traditional CNC is usually flat, and it's very much like a almost like a 3D printer or a laser cutter, only maybe there's limited movement in the Z direction. And so what happens with that design, because it's flat, when as the cutter is moving around, the sawdust will collect. There's also sometimes like you need a blower, because sometimes there's a risk of fire because you have a spinning bit and all that sawdust collecting there. So a nice design here is that the sawdust just falls down, actually either onto the floor, or we can hook up a little vacuum hose to the bottom and collect the dust as it's as it's coming out. So of course things never work right the first time. That is the end you do not want to touch, and the circuits themselves are very simple. But there are some transistors on the side here, and those basically control the XY deflection, how the electron beam that's being generated is basically lighting up the pixels on the front.
I think Mike is like the smartest guy I know, so I'm sure it's all correct.
So you must not know a lot of people. But anyway, I want to print a chocolate version of me. So this is like a 3D scan I have.
Oh, what? Did you say chocolate version of you?
Yeah, see, that's like a little statue I have.
Who's going to bite your head off then?
I don't know. See, it would be easier to print something. If you wanted to print something in chocolate, how a Geneva gear works is...
Oh, that's clever.
This little design spins around, and as this little peg goes into this notch, it turns it, and at the same time, this outer piece locks it into place so it can't move. Mm-hmm. So if you see... So you just need a regular speed motor to just spin constantly, and you'll see when I turn it around from the front
it's going to rotate 90 degrees with each rotation.
See, it just does that.
That is cool.
So one thing you can do for your...
Lord, how long did that take you to make that?
Not that long. See what I have. See what you can do one time.
So right there on the floor is the backside, the rear side of the amazing, humongous logo. And those are cleats that we're going to use to mount it on the wall of the classroom very soon. And you gotta just see, you know what? Forget the logo for 2 minutes. You gotta see this man cave that Mike has. Show us around.
Ogrinz Labs, well hello. So let me give you a quick tour of all my miscellaneous junk in progress. Without sounding immodest or whatever. Okay, so I don't know, there's a lot of 3D printers around. There's a Prusa Mini over there. There's a regular Prusa over here. Let's just walk around different stuff. So this is a robot head for a Robby the Robot suit that is in progress. You will see that later. A couple of birdhouses I made for my wife. Vinyl cutter, robot,
mini Robby.
Mini Robby, that's just from Walmart. This is a automatic cat food dispenser I'm working on. It plays the Meow Mix jingle. You're like meow, 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 meow.
Oh my
so
God.
hopefully the cats will like that.
But
I'm having an issue where the cat food gets jammed a little bit in the bottom, so I've got to redo I got to redo the bottom piece here. Lots of parts behind you on the floor. An SLA printer, stereolithography, with a little UV finishing center. The Gigabot, the first 3D printer I had, which has allowed me to print some really huge, amazing pieces. But here's something that I printed on here. On top, the little Veroni giraffe. So
Little.
yeah. So
Look at the size of that printer.
600 cubic milliliter build volume.
That is enormous.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my God.
that is a work.
Oh my God! Wow!
As a workhorse, there are definitely. Well, now there are bigger printers, but yeah, that was a Kickstarter, so I did not design it, but I did have to assemble the whole thing, which was a lot of fun.
It looks like the wire guides are 3D printed.
I think it's cable track. I think they're vacuum formed. But originally, it didn't have that. It just had like a metal rod that kind of held the cables out of the way. So I've upgraded it over the years and the Re3D, the company that makes it, has been really good about making all the additions backwards compatible. Some pinball machines.
Some. Just some.
Just some. 3 of these are in the top 10 rated pinball machines of all time. So Twilight Zone, Star Trek, and Whitewater. Twilight Zone #1, I think Whitewater's #9 rated, and Star Trek is somewhere in the middle. So
Have you ever won them? Like got a high? Well, I guess you're gonna have the high score. I mean,
Well,
they're yours.
I don't.
You're the only one getting the high scores. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not great just because I have them, because I only usually play them when the company comes over, and then like all the arcade machines around the corner, you turn them on and you're like, oh, what's broken now? I got to fix something. But it's interesting because these machines, so like this is so Twilight Zone, like 1991, I think, 93. People make additions even to this day. People make all kinds of add-ons. So like the EL wire, the clock, the little laser cut sign, the lights behind Rod Serling there, the little Robby the Robot. These are all things that people added that weren't made in '93 when the machine came out. Or did
they have electroluminescent wire in that time?
No,
I think
it's all
I think it was
extras.
invented since then.
Yeah, I don't think so. And this one this one has regular lights and incandescent lights, and there's a certain warmness to that. And the designers, when they program the lighting effects, they realize there's a little time for the light to kind of come on and shut off. So I feel like it's kind of you need it for the this. Oh, and of course,
the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, and what song does it play when you? Let's see. Of course, it's going to play. Of course, it's going to play like the Twilight Zone song, right?
It's gonna make my video copyright infringement.
You can't video somebody taking the pinball machine. So like and these are both wide body machines, so like 30% wider than regular pins. So they could, at sort of the height of pinball, they could fit all these extra goodies in here. So the Star Trek machine has I put LEDs in here, so it loses a little bit of the warmth, but I think it kind of fits with the more modern theme of like a Star Trek machine. So I don't know again how that works with the refresh on the camera. If you get the maybe the LEDs.
Oh, is it gonna flicker? Let's see if it'll focus. Seems to be doing all right.
But people even like the back glass, which is usually like a plasma display. People have created new color back glasses. They've burned new ROMs for the pinball machine that color the effects. So it's not. I mean, people go crazy. I don't really have any. There's only a couple little minor aftermarket things I have in this machine.
So this is like a thing, restarting pinball machines.
Fixing them, yeah. Well, I did it because I originally got into this. I was in college. Come on around the corner here. We'll get back to the robots in a second. So when I was in college doing a computer science degree, I wanted to learn more about electronics. And a friend of mine said, oh, if you get some of these old arcade machines, they cost nothing. This is in, let's say, the late 80s to early 90s. They cost nothing. You fix the machine, you learn how to fix it, and you'll know something about electronics, and then you'll have the machine when you're done. So I got out the old yellow pages and looked up amusement devices, and I found I visited a few warehouses, but I met these guys and they said, oh yeah, Mike, we'll sell you this Defender cock table machine, $50. And we'll sell you this Tempest machine for $75. So even as a college student, that was affordable. I didn't really have any room for the stuff, but I was going to bring them home to my parents' house. And so then this was pre-eBay, there was no market. So like if a machine cost, let's say back again in like 1990, the machine cost $2,000. You put it in the arcade, it's popular for a few months, you make $2,500. So you've made your 2,000 back. So now you got 500 in profit or whatever, and it's all cash. I'm not saying I'm sure it was all reported. And you take that $2,000, you buy the next machine for the next 6 months or whatever. And then the old machine that nobody wanted, it just sits in the warehouse. So these guys had warehouses full of pinball machines and full of arcade games that nobody wanted. Those guys actually said to me at one point, "I'll just come back and take whatever you want."
Oh my
But
gosh.
that never quite worked out because generally people who are putting arcade machines in the locations are usually not very reliable. So every time I would show up, they wouldn't be there. And anyway, over the years, I collected different machines. And sometimes there were bargains to be had, but other times it's like, oh, if you really, things are pricier. These are all vector machines.
What does that mean, vector?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask as soon as I said vector. So in olden times, what people call like a thick display, cathode ray tube, if you've ever seen a TV that's like this thick, as opposed to like one that's this thick, there's an electron beam that sweeps across one row at a time, exciting phosphors that are on the screen, and that's how it paints the picture and the letters and things. Whereas, so if it draws a diagonal line, it sweeps and it like draws a dot here. The next line, it draws a dot here. And if you look, you get this kind of stair-step type effect, sometimes called pixelation or the jaggies. A vector monitor works differently. The electron beam can move to any point on the screen. So it can just draw a diagonal line. It just goes zzz, and it draws the diagonal line. We may as well turn this on for a second because your viewers, none of them have ever seen a vector monitor. So some of these will come on and it will be very loud and you'll tell me it's ruining the audio. But take some video and then I will turn them off.
I assume those jaggies are all because it's interlaced. Old CRTs are interlaced.
No, I mean it's so interlacing is like doing a different line every refresh.
1/60 of a second.
Yeah.
It does a different set of lines.
Yeah. So, but no, it's just because the pixels. That's just how because it draws it, line by line. So if you look at something,
it's just like low res. That's basically the reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you today's modern LCD monitor, like high res, if you emulated a vector game like Asteroids, it would probably look pretty close if it were high enough resolution. But there's also a difference you get in brightness levels. Like here, if I play this, you'll see that.
So this display almost matches like a vector scope, basically.
An oscilloscope.
An oscilloscope.
It is the same. Most oscilloscopes now are also like LCD based, but you see like how there's different brightness possible too. That's something you wouldn't normally get on an. If you were running, if this were an LCD monitor, you would have to use like maybe different colors of gray. But you don't just get that brightness, that pop that you get on.
Does it have the same that filter that was in front of the CRTs? Like between the glass and you, there's that filter. That mesh? So it doesn't have that.
No.
Okay.
It's just there's the the tube. I could show you one of the tubes in the back I have on the floor. But while this is playing, just quickly again in terms of like the aftermarket, I got this machine maybe for $100.
What? That's crazy low.
It was like a wreck, right? So like this panel, which was originally painted like the Lunar Lander panel, it had all cigarette burns on it. This cardboard back here was all rotten. This plexiglass was all scratched up. People in the aftermarket, people made this new Mylar overlay that I can put over it. Somebody made and sells like this plexiglass, which was all scratched. Somebody makes that and sells it. Somebody made and sold this new cardboard because some guy was probably restoring his machine. He needed to replicate that, and the cost to make it was probably prohibitive. Mm-hmm. So he said, well, all right, I'll make 100. I'll keep, one for myself, and I'll sell 99 and get my cost back. And
there's enough people with the video game units.
Yeah, absolutely. People make full. If the sides of your cabinets are scratched, people make a full size for all of these. People make decals, and for the pinball machines too, full size decals. The only thing that you can't do easily on the pinball machines is the play field. If that's like scratched, you can kind of paint and restore it, but after that, it's probably not working. So somebody asked me recently, so did you learn about electronics, Mike? Did your mission work? Did you learn all this electronics? And mostly I learned how to fix arcade and pinball machines. So
if you can take apart a CRT and make the thing work, that's a certain talent.
I don't like to work on CRTs because it's the only part where the voltage is like lethal.
Exactly. It's got capacitors in that can kill somebody, even unplugged.
So this is the B9 robot from Lost in Space.
But you put neon in there, that can also kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks for voltage.
Thanks for telling me that now. Yes.
Well, it's 30,000 volts, but not a lot of amps.
Yeah, it's probably fine. You probably could put your tongue on it. It'd probably be fine.
Who's gonna try me or you?
No.
So he is fiberglass, pipe insulation on the legs, a bunch of different vacuum hose for his arms. But that's from a Lost in Space, not the modern Netflix Lost in Space, but the original TV Irwin Allen series, Lost in Space. And then Robby the Robot from the 1956. No one's gonna look that up. Classic Forbidden Planet. If you have not seen Forbidden Planet, it is from our golden age of sci-fi movies. So my advice to you, dear viewers, is watch Forbidden Planet. Maybe go see the classic Time Machine. I don't know, The Blob, Colossus, The Forbin Project. Day of the Triffids isn't bad. It's a better book. Anyway, Forbidden Planet, based on Shakespeare's The Tempest, starring Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis, and Leslie Nielsen before Airplane. If people have seen Airplane, he's serious in this one.
Speaking of books, by the way,
Yeah.
that's his book.
Yes, that is a book I wrote, and that is some stuff from a company I had in high school. So I feel for today's youth. I had a software company when I was in high school, selling a color graphics emulator for monochrome monitors, which means
Oh my
nothing.
God, CGA.
Yes.
Oh, snap. Okay, if any of you watching this even know what CGA is, or EGA,
Or VGA.
I was not going to say that one because that they might know because they've heard the plug is Super VGA. I wasn't going to give that one away. But yeah, if anyone knows what that is, put it in the comments below because you guys are old.
It's terrible. So Robby the Robot, anyway, makes his debut in Forbidden Planet. I think MGM Studios cost about $100,000 to build. It was a very expensive prop at the time, and I believe is also maybe the first, if not only, robot to have a page in IMDb, because he's got such like a rich history. So I am building a Robby replica as a suit that I can wear. So this is all 3D printed. You can see what it looks like on the bottom.
So now you can actually see that there is a texture on here.
Or like
and then here it's nice and smooth up on the top
again, we can
part.
show like this parts of the BB-8. So this is a finished panel on the BB-8. The
We
front
haven't shown
side.
the BB-8 to the
It's right over
down
here.
there.
Yeah, and this is the inside. Yes. So that's also the BB-8 is also 3D printed.
It doesn't happen to actually move though, right?
Not at the moment. So I was in the initial group of people who were building replicas, and so it will spin around, but the head is too heavy; it'll fall off. They're magnets. They're like there are like these rare earth magnets. If you listen, you'll hear it. It just. So people since have refined the design to make the head a couple pounds lighter and refine the mechanics inside, but I just do not want to go through all that sanding and so he is now a static model. I'm not going to recreate everything that went into him.
Plus, if you show it off and then the head falls off, you're gonna like freak out little kids.
Yeah. So what else is going on?
CRT monitors.
So, oh yeah, the monitor. Well, this is so I have a CRT out in the garage, but just to show you like a vector monitor. Right. This is like an old school arcade monitor. So yeah, I mean, this is like the high voltage is behind here. It's got a metal cage around it, sort of like a Faraday cage, so that it doesn't interfere with the electronics. And it just pushes a ton of voltage through this little suction cup here. I think that's called the anode. I'm not sure. Can't remember.
One's the cathode, one's the anode.
Yeah, I think that's the part. The other end of that is the end you do not want to touch. And the circuits themselves are very simple. But there are some transistors on the side here, and those basically control the XY deflection, how the electron beam that's being generated is basically lighting up the pixels on the front. So this is a color vector monitor. So there are 3 layers of phosphor on this side of the screen, and depending on the strength of the beam, it excites a different level. So when excited, they emit a different color light. So if you think you have red, green, and blue, on different layers. If you excite all of them, you end up with white. If you want red or purple, you excite different layers of the phosphor.
You want to explain Faraday cage while you're giving a physics lesson?
No. I'm probably getting my technical explanation of the monitor wrong. Assume 80% of what Mike said is correct. I don't know. That's about
I think Mike is like the smartest guy I know, so I'm sure it's all correct.
So you must not know a lot of people. But anyway, what other interesting things are going on around down here? I don't know. There's a lot of interesting projects. So Trying to convert that 3D printer on the floor over here to print become like a paste printer, so print chocolate or frosting. Why would you want to print in frosting? I don't know, just to decorate cakes or things, right? I want to print a chocolate version of me, so this is like a 3D scan I have.
Oh, what? Did you say chocolate version of you?
Yeah, see, that's like a little statue I have.
Who's gonna bite your head off then?
I don't know. See, it would be easier to print something, if you wanted to print something in chocolate, the easier thing would be to print something in plastic, make a mold of it, and then fill it with chocolate. So I don't think for that, I don't think I'm really going to do a lot of printing in chocolate, but you can print like paste, maybe a clay paste, to make some interesting ceramics, and then fire those and do something interesting with that. Let's see. I think that's there's an elliptical that I never use. If anyone would like a deal on elliptical, find me through Eric. We will make that happen.
That it's so less interesting than everything else here. Unless you built it, which, you know, for Mike, he might have.
No. But, well, I'll show you like one other quick thing. So, you know, putting the Robby together, I don't have the batteries in this chest right now. But
oh my God, is that
a television?
Yes, it is.
That is a replica, but it has a Pi inside to play all the old games.
So that's a Raspberry Pi powered Intellivision. If you've actually seen an Intellivision in your life, put it in the comments below.
A Hercules graphics adapter. All right, so everything with Robby, there are no plans or documents anymore. So there are a few of us who are trying to figure out how everything used to work. And so I should mention, like, the top half of Robby here is designed by this guy Ian. He's based in Australia, and the bottom half is my design, but he's also has a version of the bottom. So in the original Robby, these are called people call them the flappers or piano keys. These things all move in and out. This little star mechanism spins, and this little dial here with these lights spins in 90-degree little increments. So how do you make something sort of like well, no, I mean, they didn't have that probably in the 50s, or they needed something like a little bit more reliable, so they used what's called a Geneva gear. I don't know if I'll be able to spin this, but how a Geneva gear works is,
oh, that's clever.
This little design spins around, and as this little peg goes into this notch, it turns it, and at the same time this outer piece locks it into place so it can't move. Mm-hmm. So if you see, so you just need a regular speed motor to just spin constantly, and you'll see when I turn it around from the front here.
It's gonna rotate 90 degrees with each rotation.
See, it just does that.
That is cool.
And like all these things,
just straight up plain physics of machines.
Yeah,
mechanical machines.
Whoever knew like that gear, who would ever? I mean, I was not familiar with that, but just again in you know, people in the club and researching and figuring out, I think there was some comment on the plans that somebody had that said, oh, there was a Geneva gear that was used. So it's just a lot. And then, so
you
again,
printed that out, made your own, basically?
Design it, 3D printed it, and
That's
just
cool.
make these little prototypes to test it before you spend all the time sanding, priming, you know, putting all that stuff together. And I'm also a huge nerd when it comes to old handheld arcade games. So I used to go to my wife's class, batteries, and say, like, what do people think this is? And she's in high school, and they'd say, oh, it's a telephone, or
it does look like a cell phone.
It's an MP3 player or something like that. It's just an old handheld game.
That one stumps me. I've never seen
Merlin. Oh yeah, I don't have the batteries in it because I don't want them to leak. But years later, when my kids were little, so I had this when I was, I want to say, well, it was 1976. I had a very interesting Christmas. So my parents gave me Merlin, and come over here. These are like the three things I got. This is the only one who's still the original. The other two are relics from eBay. But so I got Merlin, Big Tracks, which is this guy here, and 2XL, which was this guy here, which kickstarted my sort of life in computing. So Merlin you could play tic-tac-toe against, and I thought, like, wow, this is really kind of a neat thing. I mean, I knew it wasn't thinking, but the idea that you could interact with the computer was really cool. 2XL took 8-track tapes. Say it with me, Eric. If you've seen an 8-track tape, he beat me to that one. If you even, okay, let's try it out. If you know how many controls an 8-track has, play and what other buttons, because there's only gonna be one, put it in the comments below. You know, right?
Oh.
Well, technically each one of these buttons on his front would switch between one of the tracks, so that's kind of a clue. If you want to consider that one of the controls.
And some did have fast forward.
Yeah.
Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, some could go to the next section, but they would record the tapes in such a way that, again, you would hit these buttons and there was this sense that it was interactive. But the thing that rounded out the trifecta here was Big Traks. So Big Traks was this programmable tank. So this was the first toy. This was basically me as whatever, 10 or 11 years old, you know, getting exposed to something you could program. So you would give them a direction, forward, you know, to, I forget what if it's in angles or not, you know, 85, forward 1, fire the gun. Now, he needs a little help, his little gears are a little old. It went a lot faster 20 years ago.
Or it seemed so when you were child-sized.
So, in England, they released it and it was in white, and not that many years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, a company decided to remanufacture it with kind of modern components, and I thought, well, this is really cool. So, it begs the question, which is stronger, old school Big Traks or re-engineered modern Big Traks?
Unfortunately, we do know the answer to that.
Let's clear
which motors are stronger?
Right, we need to know.
Oh, I thought you meant like which is going to go faster, like across the ground, a new motor versus one that's old. But
all right, here we go.
Yeah, so that's not much of a competition.
Poor Big Traks.
There's no competition there.
No. But it's like if people have ever used Logo, the programming language, leave it in the comments. It's almost like a program, like a physical logo bot that you can, drive around.
Yeah, I would bet you if you gave that to someone who's never seen an 8-track, they won't even realize that's the slot for it. They wouldn't even know that's a slot. You'd have to have used you would have to have used an 8-track in your life to even know that what even goes in that.
So I did. So one thing you can do for your
Lord, how long did that take you to make that?
Not that long. See what I have. See what you can do one time is
oh my God,
I have them in stages. Well, no, this is when I was showing kids how to make it. So I 3D printed these little forms. So you make the first two and you put them together like that. Then you slide in the third one. You make another one like that, and then you wind up with the last one, which is that. So I have it in stages.
Super cool.
So someday you may say to me, Mike, will you come show our class how to make pencil sculptures? And that's sitting on top of an XY of like a laser projector that I made.
So laser. Oh, like those things in the nightclubs.
Well, sort of. Again, it's XY addressable, so theoretically I could hook the games up to it and play them over the laser.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So
it sort of works like the vector model.
Yeah, exactly. It's driven by XY, so it can be driven by any of the games and then just slide it on the wall. So back over here to the games. So this was another one, Perfection. This game, I like this. I had this. What I like about this was a lot of like 80s era sci-fi cheap TV shows, like Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, would just use this as a prop in the background. They wanted to make it look like futuristic, so they had some set dressing. So there are a few episodes you're looking like, that's just my game sitting in the background of the TV there. Or again, when I get bored, I realize you could probably do a lot more on your phone, but what beats every now and then?
Is that the tennis thing?
Football.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Oh, you know what? Here we go. Yeah, with passing, very important.
They had a tennis one also, right? It was different colors.
They had basketball. They had a bunch of, but this is what we used to do, right? We didn't have apps. We would just buy these games. Anyway, these little. Remember, they would be on watches. There was all kinds of.
Folks, if you think Nintendo was always for like set-top video games no, they used to be doing that many years before.
I missed handhelds. Now you have it on your phone, it's not the same. But I missed the little dedicated handheld games. Yeah, I feel like that's an appropriate amount of stuff for this trip.
Appropriate is an interesting word. I would say it's an overwhelming amount of awesome stuff.
Is this a sketch is this a shape you created?
No, I had a logo person do it. Did you ever read the meaning of this thing?
I looked all over the site. I couldn't find what the meaning was.
Page.
I looked all over. I'm like, I hope this isn't like some obscene kanji character that I'm cutting.
Okay, so there's like multiple meanings, and the kanji part of it is just a side effect because kanji looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost the number 6 in kanji. It's a little wrong to be the number 6, but that wasn't that was just sort of a nice side effect. I think I'm still holding this.
All right, good enough.
Can you tape it?
Yeah,
wait, does that look right? Before you tape it, does that look right?
It does look good.
So you've been staring at our logo doing this, and you've already made the 3D logo, and you don't even know what it means.
No, I just.
Did you
I
figure
figured
out what else it is?
you asked so nicely.
There's
Honestly, I did go to this site and I looked around like it must be under the facts.
It's
got
like
to be here somewhere.
If you hover the mouse or click on the logo on the front page, it will
gosh.
show it. But either way,
I mean,
you
what do you
didn't
think?
see any other meaning besides the kanji?
No.
It's got like multiple meanings. Okay, so the first and the most obvious one is the letters T and Y together. Well, you're looking at the mirror of it now.
Okay.
It's the letters T and Y together. So if we're looking at it,
I get it. I do see that now. Okay.
The next thing is it's a person in stride to look like youth, and then the other thing
He's
is
missing a head, but okay.
No, that's the head right
That's
there.
the head?
That's the head. These are the
His
arms.
head is an L.
And
Okay.
so arms are outstretched, which
Yes.
is indicating that we take all the youth who need us into our program. Because we're one of the few programs that are completely not selective. Like if you go to some of the other mainstream programs out there, will not take a lot of our youth. It's just because juvenile delinquency records, high school dropout, whatever the reason. So we take everybody. And then the last one is the one I was sure you'd get, but you didn't get.
I got none of them.
Because you're like a brilliant engineer.
You sound like the
genius.
audiobook in a modern art exhibit.
No,
Man,
that's-
the
you're really-
juxtaposition of the yes. It's a good.
You got patents over my head. Don't you recognize the patent, the pi symbol?
I always of course, but I what did that?
That's the techie.
Okay.
Techie, and then the kid, the person in stride is youth.
I always felt like it reminded me a little bit of a pi symbol, but I didn't see. I didn't really see. I just
find it funny.
Let me hand you the
I
next
wouldn't find
piece.
it nearly as amusing if you hadn't made 2 logos and put all that time into them. It wouldn't be amusing otherwise.
I assumed
it's
it
just
was
how
so
you've
neat.
been
I hope
staring
we
at
should-
it.
So these little clamps, for the benefits of our viewers, these are French cleats. So there's a top and a bottom, and they hook together like this. So if this were on a wall and this were on the back of our sign piece, that is how it would hold. You would not be able to pull it off the wall. So what we need to do is for these pieces.
The headless demonstration.
I wanted to get.
Your head is chopped off.
That was then. So what we need to do is, what we think is a reasonable place, put them on here. Now, so for this one, for the big piece, we want to get it close enough because this tends to have a little bit of a curl to it, just because it's a big piece and it's not like, only like something like marine plywood doesn't warp a little bit. We want to try and get it close to the edge, or you can always add one later. That's why I'm giving you the wood blocks. I mean, the key thing would be for strength, to have sort of like maybe one here and one here.
Well, actually, for strength, if you go too far, you lose the strength, don't you? Because it's thinner wood.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I guess I'm more like thinking for just on the wall. Like it's not gonna fall off. This is never gonna. Oh yeah, you want to see how big it is?
Yeah. So it's 69 inches. Wow. So it's almost 6 feet wide.
Well, we're gonna do 2 things.
Okay.
Because you need to you don't want to sit around and wait overnight for it to
Naturally.
dry. So we're gonna use this wood glue, which is like Typon, which is super great. And
Oh, is that like basically what's that thing with the 2 parts?
epoxy.
It's like epoxy
No,
for wood.
it's just a wood glue. But we're gonna use a super glue, which is like Bob Smith's cyano something, I forget, like a crazy glue thing with a little accelerant. Maybe I can spray depending on if I want to get all over my wall.
What's accelerant?
It'll make it cure
Faster.
instantly. Yeah. So the super glue will hold it in place while it dries overnight to actually make this thing never removable. So I gave it just a light. Nobody's gonna see the back. I gave it a light enough coat that the glue will still stick to it.
Your level works, right? Because I discovered one of my levels, the glass inside was loose, and it wasn't. And I couldn't figure out why every time I go over the same spot, it would be a little different.
I hope the level works. Yes.
So
That's
what's the
already
stuff
on
you-
there.
That's it.
Yep. You
glued this onto it as well.
You could break it off if you wanted, but that wood glue underneath, it won't come off.
That's some cool.
The wood
really neat glue.
the wood will rip off before. This thing
you
comes
could
off.
see it. It looks like it's solidified already.
Yeah, I have the.
Is it gonna do anything? Is it gonna matter?
Like, I have the solid if you want it.
Poison for my fingers is up.
I'm trying to decide, like, can we finish this before you need medical attention? I have, if it bothers you, it'll come off in a couple of days. I have the stuff to take it off.
Jeez.
Well, it's not coming off until the skin is.
Oh, that's it. Once it's adhered.
Yeah.
So that's like that foam insulation, the spray insulation.
Yeah, which also could it's kind of caustic on your skin.
That's nothing takes that off.
Sandpaper.
Sandpaper, yeah, that's not taking the glue off. It's taking the skin off.
Boy, it's great when a plan goes along perfectly. Yes.
Wait till I have to mount it on the wall.
You'll be like pushing it down. And the last one. I can't believe I didn't put any of these on upside down.
I was thinking in my head, is that the correct direction each time you do it? And I didn't say a word because I'm not trying to jinx it. I know that if I did it, it would have happened like that.
Right, because it'll be on the wall like that. It'll sit down. It'll sit because that's the right way.
The honest truth, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I just have to mount the other bracket upside down.
Well, these are actually all screwed on, so they could be flipped over. That would have been easy. No, it wouldn't have worked if you do the other one. It would have. You can't mount it from the bottom up. It would just slide off and onto the floor.
Oh, that's a good point.
It has to be the right way.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Okay.
Well, it is another day. It's an awesome day. We are going to hang the gigantic logo that Mike made for us up today, and we're super excited to get it on the wall. Hey, there's Manny. He's going to help me. We're going to measure this stuff and get it all angled in. Now, Mike created this incredible system with these little brackets that are used to measure in advance by grabbing out the brackets, sliding them on like this, and then those 2 points will puncture the wall in the exact correct spot after we position it by eye in place, and then that's where I drill holes and mount the brackets and all that. He made a brilliant system that's kind of hopefully dummy proof. We're about to test that theory and get this thing up on the wall, so keep watching. Well, that was easier than planned. So it worked like a charm, these little brackets. We are absolutely done with them now. We got all the brackets in the wall, right here, here, here. All of them are in place. Now, we did measure this using the desks that the students are going to sit at right here, so that limited how much vertical space we have. So the top one, it should stick out if we planned it correctly, a little bit above the wall, which actually is going to look pretty cool. And it's a lot of hard work, right? You're sweating away still from it, right?
Yeah, I'm sweating.
All right, magic of television. We're going to snap our fingers, and boom, it's going to be up on the wall. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Blooper reel. I can't snap. What happened? And that's it. It is on the wall. Check it out. Check it out. It looks amazing, and it is huge. I am 6 feet tall, roughly 183 centimeters. That is way taller than me. It is awesome. We are super happy with the results. Mike hooked us up and made this amazing logo, and honestly, it's so much better even than expected. He also sized it slightly larger than I expected to, which is amazing, because if I go back a little bit here, you can see it's most of the wall. It's kind of crazy. It's awesome. I think it's about 5 feet wide, and the height should be about 4.5 feet, which is humongous. 5 feet is, I don't know, was that 1 2/3 meters? It's huge. Anyway, we love it. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Mike. You guys all rock, and thank you, Manny, for helping me hang it up on the wall. See you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Well, that is it. We are done. The preparations for classes are completely finished. We've been in this room for a lot of hours preparing this beautiful, humongous, gorgeous classroom, and it's finally ready. We can fit a whole lot of youth in this room. Check out the amount of seats in this joint, man. It is big. This is an extra large classroom, and it's all ready for the youth to come in tomorrow. First day of class, 8 a.m. that means I ain't gonna sleep too much because it's almost 8 p.m. now. All right, so whatever, it's a beautiful space. It's completely ready. And I've prepped this space with some extra logos, actually. Check this out. In addition to the huge Techie Youth logo that Manny and I just put up today, these 3D printed logos are all around the room. They come from a 3D printer, all of these things. There's one here, over here, another one on the other side, over there, up here, and then we got a giant 3D printed one up on the back wall right here. And actually that one was also made by Mike on his huge printer several years back for our first classroom, and we've been having it proudly on the wall ever since. And this one I had laser cut out of solid steel, and then it's finished in something that gives it like the patina, and that's been on the wall of our very first classroom on the exterior, which gave it that rusty like patina for all the years that's been outdoors, and then now it's inside. So we got lots of logos, we're looking good, lots of Techie Youth logos, and it's exciting because tomorrow we're gonna have the youth come in here and use this place for what it's made for, you know, Techie Youth. All right, thank you all for watching. By the way, these are the pictures of our first and second classes that graduated ever in Techie Youth. We proudly have them on the wall, and we're real proud of our graduates, and we're hoping to have a whole lot more at the end of this semester. So keep watching and stay tuned and see where this goes, because I'm excited and looking forward to this semester. Thank you all for watching. See you at the next video. That's it for today. We have seen enough to absorb it all. I don't even know how to consume this all. This is like being in a toy store. I'm gonna stay here and hang out and play with the toys while you guys we're done with the video. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe.
See you guys.
See you guys in the next video. Peace out.